Final Fantasy XIV is a great MMORPG. One of the best. Honestly, one of the most popular right now. And a lot of people really, really love it. But it's kinda hard to get into it. It requires hundreds of hours in terms of story and cinematics to actually be able to get to the end game. And, well, enjoy the game to the complete extent. Now, I know a lot of people think that that is the point of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, and I know a lot of others, you know, this makes us not want to try the game at all. So I decided to skip the story and find the most fun and also most efficient way to get to the max level so everyone can join in and experience the game to its fullest extent. Subscribe to the channel for more content of this. Go to my coffee if you want to support me, and let's get into it. So as you can see here, I'm actually level 89, one level off of max level to get into Down Trail. And, you know, after Down Trail, you're gonna have to actually do the story. Just a little caveat there, there's not really a lot you can do. That being said, I've done this entire thing by just playing the game normally. No story at all. Just pay the skip and leveled normally. And it has actually been pretty fun. It has took me around 90 hours. Jesus, that's actually a good amount of time. Hey, I've done dungeons, I've done raids, I've done, you know, trials. It's just been, you know, only gameplay, and I've been able to learn my class. I've been able to try other classes as well. It's honestly been a very, you know, cool MMO experience. Maybe I'll make a little bit of a review for the entirety of the experience, but it's been okay. It's definitely not been the worst ever. It's actually been pretty fun. And if you like this kind of game, if you like MMOs, and if you like the combat of Final Fantasy, I'm sure you're gonna have a good experience regardless. And I will also say that just because you skip the story doesn't mean that the game is not enjoyable. Definitely has less, but that doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. But how do you skip it? What do you have to buy? So, in Final Fantasy XIV, it's a bit confusing. You can first of all buy things from the Mog Station, the official site of Final Fantasy of Square Enix, or you can buy them from Steam. Regardless, each is fine. Steam is probably better for Latin Americans or any other, you know, country that has weird currency, because you will get essentially regional pricing. This helped me a lot because I live in Chile to get a very good price even without discounts. There's actually like a 50% discount on the Mog Station, and it was still cheaper for me to buy it off of Steam. So definitely consider this. And you're gonna have to buy the base starter edition in any of them, in the Final Fantasy XIV in Square Enix or in Steam, and then the expansion. You cannot skip the expansions unless you actually buy them in the first place. Also, if you buy the expansions, your trial will disappear, so you're gonna have to start buying and paying for the sub. You're gonna get a 1 month sub for free, but that's what's gonna happen, right? If you want to try the game without skipping, you can do it with a trial. You're gonna have to do the entire story though. There's no way of actually skipping this, but believe me, I tried. But yeah, that's what it is, right? Now, how do you skip the actual content? Usually, in many games, you get to the max level, and you can just honestly skip the story because, like, you got to the end game, you're fine. But that's not how actually Final Fantasy XIV works. Most of the content is actually from the previous expansions. Therefore, even if you are max level and you can buy the max level, boost here, the one here's journey. You will not be able to access any of the expansion's content because you have not done the story, so you have not been able to unlock it. So in order to actually do what I did, you're gonna have to buy the expansion story skips. You know, you're gonna have to buy the expansion for like 30 bucks and then buying the expansion story skips. And you can see here how you can buy multiple of them. If you buy the latest one, you're gonna skip everything beforehand, and if you buy, you know, for example, A Realm Reborn, you're just gonna skip this one. Personally, I bought this one. I bought the max starter skip, and then I just went in there, right? I just skipped everything here. I did the content of these expansions, the dungeons, the raids, and everything, without having to do the story, but by just leveling up. You can actually do both of them, right? Just buy the skips and then buy the level, and then just get to the max level instantly. It's not gonna unlock every class. It's gonna only unlock one class at max level. And you're not gonna know how to play it. So personally, I think it's better to just get this one, you know, and then start learning all the classes, the class that you like, and so on and so on. Now, you can actually also, for example, story skip the first expansion, and then, for example, try Heavensward, and then go on, and maybe you like the story, or so on and so on. Or you can even make check videos about the story of Reborn, check that story, and then just skip this one and then continue onwards. But for me, that didn't really work out, but it's definitely a possibility. Now, how did I do this? What was the leveling process like? And I'm gonna make a little bit of a list on everything you want to do from every one of the levels. I'm gonna put that in the description as well, just so I have an idea of what it is. Maybe an Excel sheet, I'm not really sure, we'll see. Yeah, but the first thing you have to do is go to level 15, as that's whenever you get your first dungeon. Now this is probably one of the, maybe not the slowest, but the weirdest part of it. After this, it's honestly just keeps going and you never stop. Content, new content, new content. But here's probably the slowest. You're gonna have to start, and you're gonna get the first quest. It's a little bit tutorial quest. You're gonna have to do this one regardless of anything, otherwise you will not be able to enter the real world. After doing that, you should be getting your earring. You're gonna go into a mailbox in the city that you require. You're gonna see where you start. You're gonna see that there's a delivery mogul, right? And after buying the skip, you're gonna get this little earring that I have right here. It's level 560. You can start on level 1. You can use it at level 1, and it will provide you increased experience earned by 30% on level 90 and below, which makes you way faster to level. And it's the delivery mogul. You can just use that guy to blast you. It'll also give you a lot of gold that you can use to buy gear in case that you're actually running out of gear, right? Sometimes, for example, just so you have an idea, when you do a dungeon, you're gonna see that it will have a requirement of item level, right? And the item level that you have here, depending on your gear, right? I'm 531, right? And sometimes you're gonna have the level, but you're not gonna have the item level, and you might actually want to go to the market board. And this one is essentially an action house from another MMO, right? You can see it right here, how it looks, and you're gonna go through it, and you're gonna, search for the class that you need, the armor that you need, the weapons that you need, and try and get a bigger item level weapon. Be careful not to buy things that are too expensive. You can always see, like, hey, one of them is a bit, maybe it's a little bit 2 item levels lower than the other one, but it's like, I don't know, 90% cheaper. Buy that one instead. You're gonna have a lot of gold because the boost actually gives you a lot of gold by selling one item that it gives you to just one of the NPCs. But be careful. Don't waste your money on stupid stuff. And we're gonna talk about more about how you can actually gear later on in the game as well, which you can. I actually only had to use the action house just a few times in very, very specific situations because I was being dumb. So don't worry about it. You won't be, because I'm gonna tell you what to do. Also, I would heavily recommend you to join a guild, an FC, as it actually is told in this game, and you can just go into any of the cities, whichever city you start with, and go into the into map chat. I guess you have to go here, switch stage mode, and you go to yell, right? And you're just gonna say, hey guys, I'm looking for an FC. Can anyone invite me? And I'm a new player or whatever. And this will give you an FC, and then you can check whether you have the buff, that the heat of battle, and this will make it so you'll get a bit more experience, right? Which is, exactly what you want. Now, after this, what you should start. You can do 2 things to get to level 15. You can start doing the main story quest, which you will see in this little thing here. A next main story quest, you can just do this ones, and you get to level 15. From level 1 to 15, you're gonna have to level in a very weird way. You can go around into the world and do these little things called fates. I'm just gonna go in here and show you. Just to, it's essentially open world events. To 1 to 15. Although this will take you a little bit of time. These ones that you can see right there, right? You can just go do them. Essentially, you skill stuff. Or you can start doing your hunting log. This will be unlocked automatically once you do the entire story, once you skip the story. And you're going to have to check in this hunting log here. You're going to be able to see which enemies you have to kill. And after you kill them, you're going to get some experience out of it. And if you hover over them, it will tell you where it is. In this case, Western Thanalan, the Aitsensu Sasamo. Right, so Eastern Thanalan, beep, and then you can check where it exactly is. Actually, I have no idea where this one is, but you can go and check on each of the situations, right? And check on the map, run around, and find these enemies, right? Now you can also ask someone to carry you. Like, I actually had a few friends that offered me to actually go and just fly me around into different spots of different fates or different hunting places where you have to get this specific mobs, and this will make it super fast for me, right? But I didn't really do that. It is definitely fast regardless, and it will take you just a few hours to get to level 15. It is actually way faster than the main story quest as well, as it took me way longer to do it when I actually was doing the story. But that's about it. Now, for the next one, once you get to level 15, you're gonna start doing the daily roulette. Now, the daily roulette is what you have right here. It'll be instantly unlocked because you have done the story quest. Usually you would have to go on and do a little quest, but you're gonna get different. I'm guessing this one is only gonna be leveling first, and you're just gonna have to press it. You do it once a day, and you'll be able to get a bit of experience from doing a random dungeon that you have unlocked, right? Now, you don't want to do this over and over again because you want to always do the highest level dungeon you have. So if you go here to dungeons, you're going to see that, you know, once you start to level 15, you want to go Satasha, right? Because it's the max level one that you have. Then you want to go, let's say you get to level 16, you want to go do the Tamtara Deepcroft and never Satasha, because why would you do it? This is higher level. Same thing, level 17, Copper Bell Mines. 18, 19, Copper Mines. 20 at Halatali, right? Then 21, 23, Halatali still, because you haven't gone to the next one. And then once you get 24, instantly you go for this one, right? And so on and so on. And this will apply for the rest of the playthrough, right? Now, it is definitely important to think about this as well. The fact that you can actually, let's say that you're level 20, 23, and you're doing Halatali still. Well, you know, you might actually want to do something else, and that else would be to do the daily roulette. Maybe you haven't done it this day, and because the daily roulette just kind of, scales a little bit and gives you an experience bonus depending on your level, it might actually be better than do this one, because this one's level 20, and this will give you a special bonus. So try and save your daily roulette to whenever you're close to the next dungeon. This will apply for the entire run as well. I would not recommend you to do trials. They just don't give you that much experience. Now, they're pretty fun, and you should definitely do them if you want to experience the entire game, and it still would be worth doing. But if you want a power level, dungeons are probably better. Something else you want to start doing is doing your class quests. Every class will start getting quests, and you can see them in the bottom of your main story quest. In this case, it's my fast little chocobo, which is not a story quest, a class quest, but it will appear here. And this will give you not only more experience, and you can actually, if you want to get to the next dungeon and you don't want to do the dungeon again, you can just do this instead from level 23 to 24, for example, to get into the next one without having to do this dungeon again. But it will provide you with also class special abilities, which is super, super cool. And honestly, they have very cool story. I know this is a non-story quest line, a non-story playthrough, but hey, getting more connected to your class and what your role is in the world, I think is absolutely fun, absolutely great. And the storylines are pretty chill, not too long, and still pretty fun. So heavily recommend to do those story quests. But you should definitely do them regardless of whether you want story, because otherwise you're going to be missing abilities. It's important to say though that you will not be able to be searching for a dungeon or a daily roulette while you're actually doing those story quest duties. Sometimes you go into these special instances for that specific content and you won't be able to participate. You'll not be able to queue into both. Now, this is going to be the playthrough. This is going to be the way that you're going to play from here until honestly the end of the game. There's a few things that we have to talk about as well. First of all, repair your gear. I never do it, and I always forget, and it's not good, because you will not do any damage, you'll have a less health, and you'll be horrible. Go from time to time into the town, check for the little repair icon, I'm going to show it right now, and repair your gear. As otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a... not going to be good. This is the little hammer that you have to look in the map, right? Very important. Now, also, you want to be thinking about poetics. What are poetics? This is one specific currency that you can see right here. Allagan Tombstone Poetics. And this will acquire you gear. Now, I'm going to tell you each of them, in each of the spots that they are in the map, in the cities, yeah, and you can see that there's a little icon, Sundry Splendors, and when you go through him and you talk to this little vendor, you're gonna see that you have the category for whichever you think. If you're a healer, you're a tank. If you're a DPS, which DPS you are, blah blah blah. And you're gonna have to look for the appropriate gear for you. I would recommend you to always buy the best one, and you can check the level that it requires. In this case is 50, and you can start using this poetics to get to when you get to level 50, you can use this armor, these pieces. Now, when you buy gear, it actually doesn't go into your inventory. It goes into your armory. The armory chest has all of your gear, but you also have an inventory. And if this fills up, you're gonna have your inventory filled with armor and your armory chest filled with armor. And if your weapon or armor is not in your armory chest, you cannot access it. You cannot equip it. You're gonna have to switch it down. Cleaning this up, I never did it, but it was very bad actually. You should be cleaning this up. You should be selling old gear. Otherwise, you'll end up with me and have a complete disaster in here, and it's not good. So definitely don't do as I do. Do as I say. Okay, clean this shit. It'll be horrible. I'll show you the other cities as well. And I'll keep talking about you on the other cities from the different expansions and where this vendor is on each one of them as well for later. If you get lost trying to get this specific vendors, usually it's on the main city, main teleporter, and then you just look at the minimap and you're gonna see it right here, right? If you go to every one of them, now let's go. You know, this is the lunchtime and so on. We already chucked Lamflan, and then we just go for the New Gridania one, and you're gonna see it instantly right beside of the main waypoint. You can see it right there, Sundry Splendors, right on this side, boom. Now for Coerthas, for Heavensward and Foundation, you can see it right there on the main waypoint. We're gonna load in right here. It's right there, you can see it right on this side, Sundry Splendors. Now let's go for next expansion, which is Dragon's Blood, which is in Kugane in Hingashi. You can see it right on this side, Sundry Splendors. Now for Shadowbringers, it's gonna be in Norbrand, and then the Crystarium, there we go. Let's teleport to this spot right here, and there you see the Mons Merchant Sundry Splendors. And for last one, for Endwalker, in the Northern Empty, you go to Old Charlion, and this spot right here, and you can see that the Old Charlion extent is here with the Merchant, and you'll be able to get the last one you from Endwalker onwards. There you go, level 90 gear. So that is everywhere where you have to get this pieces of gear. Level 20, you're gonna get your mount, which is super cool. You cannot use this in cities, but you can use it anywhere else. You just have to go into your character and then check to mount guide, and then you're able to see all of the mounts that you have. They will instantly get unlocked. I haven't done anything to get this ones in particular. This is just got unlocked by doing the story skip, and you can instantly just put it in your bar and start using it whenever, right? At level 30, your class will become an ascended class. You're gonna have to definitely pay attention to this and do your story quests, your story class quests, in order to unlock this. You'll be ascended from Marauder to Paladin, well, actually, I guess I don't know all of them, but look, you will be ascended, okay? And that class is way better than the original one. The only thing that you have to do to go and get them is just advancing your class quest, and you'll get it eventually. But of course, Gladiator becomes a Paladin, Marauder becomes a Warrior, Lancer becomes a Dragoon, Pugilist becomes a Monk, Rogue becomes a Ninja, Archer a Bard, Thaumaturge becomes a Black Mage, Arcanist a Summoner or a Scholar, if you want to heal, and Conjurer a White Mage. Definitely do this, as this will give you way more powers, and honestly, they look pretty cool, and the class quests will give you more abilities as well. You can actually get other classes while you're leveling, right? If there are any classes that you find interesting, you can actually get them while you're leveling. Let's say that you're a gladiator and you become a paladin. Then, at level, for example, 50, you can actually go for something else. You can go for a Dark Knight. At level 60, you can go for a Gunbreaker. Right? You can, at level 50, you can go for a Samurai instead and just change from tank to Samurai. At level 80, you can go for Viper, the new class from Downtrail, right? And you can do this for any of the other classes. You just have to require the level that this first class on the first quest for each of these classes requires. Now, there are some exceptions. For example, Dark Knight, even though it unlocks at 50, you'll go back to level 30. Most of them actually don't do that. Whenever I went to Gunbreaker, I went from level 60 to Gunbreaker level 60. I still have Paladin at level 60, for example. Now I'm a Gunbreaker level 89. When I went to Samurai, I went from Paladin level 50 to Samurai level 50, right? And my Paladin is still at the same level that I left it off. You can just switch in and switch out and level the different job whenever you want. And on Viper, I leveled up to level 80, and Viper's still level 81 right now. And I went back to Gunbreaker, and I'm 89, but Viper's still there, and I can switch there and level it up whenever I want. So you can try out any of the other classes whenever you want, which is super fun and makes the leveling experience way more fun. Now, I actually found this website that actually shows you every requirement for each of the jobs. It says here on the right the level you need, Discipline of War or Magic, level 80 for example for Viper, and so on, right? And it also tells you the place where they're at, the NPC that they require, the class that you have, and of course the place in which this is spotted, right? You can see the X axis and the Y axis, right? So you can just look in the map, look for the number here in the map, right? Until you have until you see that these are the numbers, right? And then you're gonna be able to find the specific specific NPC that gives you the first quest in order to get these classes in particular. As you can see, there are a lot of them, so you know, and you can just search for each of these ones and see which one you would like the most, or you can just go in there and try it. Also, a little thing that I had a bit of a problem with. Definitely read some of the tutorials, as some things are very weird. For example, I went from Gladiator to Paladin, and I didn't know that in order to do this, you would have to actually get the Soul Crystal. In order to actually become a Paladin, I had to grab the Soul Crystal from my inventory and put it inside of here. Now, after that, the Soul Crystals don't really matter. In order to change classes, you just have to change your weapon. You know, you just go in here, and you can just check, hey, I want to become a samurai, and I just press it and equip, and then I'll become the samurai again. And what you can do to make it not annoying is you can just create gear sets for each of your classes, and then just equip it, and then update the gear set whenever it becomes better. For example, right now my Gunbreaker is not updated, and I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna now 531 Gunbreaker, easy. And this way you can just have everything set up without any issue. Now, once you get to level 50, a few things are gonna change. First, you can see now you can access main scenario, alliance raids, and high-level dungeons. And I would heavily recommend you to do both. High-level dungeons are pretty fun, and they also give you a good amount of experience. Same thing for alliance raids. But big about here, alliance raids will have to be unlocked. The first two go for free because it's part of the main story quest line that you will unlock by purchasing the skip. But a few of them will have to be done, and you have to do a little bit of a quest line. It's super easy. You just have to go and check in, you know, hey, alliance raid, Final Fantasy 14. And you can just I'll link in the description you know, the place where you can actually get all of them. The Void Dark, the Weeping City of Maha, and Dune Skate, and depending on the, of course, expansion, you're gonna have to do different quest lines, right? Now, you do have to, for example, let's say that you do the Void Arc, that you're gonna get that one, and then after you complete the Void Arc as the Alliance Raid, I mean, ideally, during one of the Alliance Raid's duties, you know, the Alliance Raid's clears, you can go and unlock the next one, and then the next one, and so on and so on. You're gonna have to do this for each of the expansions, if you so care. You don't actually have to do this, only if you care to explore the entire game, and of course, also if you want to have a bit of a variety when you're actually playing the game. But that's about it. Now, from level 50 to 60, it's gonna become way more slow to level up. Definitely prepare for that, but it's still gonna be fun. Just try and, you know, not burn yourself out by doing dungeons over and over again. Try and do a little bit of everything, right? Try to do some high-level dungeons, some leveling, blah, blah, right? So do daily roulettes when it's needed. You can do main scenario, but honestly, these ones I really have not enjoyed at all, because it's mainly just... It's a dungeon, but it's a main story quest dungeon. So what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a lot of dialogue inside of it, right? Like there's one specific main scenario quest or dungeon, I guess, or whatever, that, man, it's like 5 minutes or even more of just dialogue that you cannot skip. So it definitely sucks. I personally never did them. I would rather do anything else, but that can maybe change for you. You can actually do it, like, let's say that you're eating something or preparing something, you can just go in there, do a dungeon, see that you're gonna get a long cutscene, and you can just, you know, go get something, go do something, and then come back, right? You can definitely do that. But yeah, honestly, after that, it becomes very easy. I'll make a list of every one of the... you know, of the specs and what level you can actually, or maybe I'll find one in the internet that someone else has, probably that exists, and at what level you can actually change classes if you so want to. But overall, that is the main thing. That is the entirety thing. It just becomes just do dungeons over and over again afterwards. So definitely not a horrible experience, pretty fun. I don't think this is my game, to be fair. We'll definitely see, but I think the combat for me personally, and how slow it is, it really kind of destroys the enjoyment for me, even if the game is very well done. There's definitely a lot more to explore, and I'm gonna keep playing, I think, specifically to try and find some of the open world content interesting and compared to other games like Guild Wars 2 and WoW, and hopefully, you know, make a bit more MMO videos about this. So definitely follow me in this, well, subscribe to me on this YouTube channel and also in my other MMO channel in case that we end up doing more stuff like this, because I don't want to spam you guys with Guild Wars 2 content only here. So subscribe to both, I guess, or subscribe to the one you want, and well, there you go. It was very fun to do this and really fun experience to play this game, and I'm very happy that I could actually enjoy the gameplay even if I skipped all the story, because, you know, that is something that definitely a lot of people, they prevent them from trying out this game and seeing if it's good. And even though I understand that this is a story game, I think it's also fair to say that not everybody is into that, and there's nothing wrong with actually trying to skip it as well and not do it if that's what you like. But there you go. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support me. Watch me on twitch.tv/DarrenWest to watch me live. And see you guys around. Love you all. Bye. Bye.